All right, man. Let's get to it. Hanging with B Drop Podcast, episode 114. Man, how we feeling? How we feeling? It's crazy how I felt just a little bit better, after the Niners won. Well, let's get to it, man. Episode 114. Hopefully, you guys checked out episode 113 with my guy M Swift. It's like a cool little 30-minute interview. You know what I mean? If you want to get to know the homie, go check it out. If you haven't already, what are we gonna get into today? Well, you know what? Let's get into my crazy week and a little football talk after. All right, and we call it a day. So I'm recording on Monday. I wanted to wait as much as I could to sound better. So when I'm on this mic, like, what's up with his voice? So yeah, man, it was a week, man. It was a tough week, and let me see, where do we start? So Niners played the Seahawks on Saturday, right? Yeah, it was Saturday. We won playoff game. I was hyped. I was like, let's go, boy. I was going crazy, and but it was weird, man. So my son. Yeah, see, this is the thing where it gets tough, man, and I want to, you guys trust God, man, and I'm gonna get into that because, it's crazy. So my son's mom called me. It was like, hey, man, little man is not doing good. She was sick, so I was like, I'm gonna go pick him up. And it's crazy. It's crazy how God works too, because one of my boys was like, hey, he was trying to do something Saturday night. And he was like, yo, we going? And I was like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't know. That was before I even knew. So, God works in mysterious ways. And, yeah, so I picked up my son, and my son was down bad, bro. Like, it was crazy. Like, my son was so sick. So, first off, I actually want to say thank you to everybody that reached out when I did that post of my son on the bed. Had a good amount of people reach out and send prayers, man, and I just want to say thank you because sometimes you're going through it, and just those little words of encouragement could just make you feel so much better, no matter how much you go through things by yourself, and you're praying and everything. Sometimes those messages come through, and you're thankful. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that reached out, because a good amount of people reached out, and I'm very thankful for that. So yeah, Saturday, man, he was down bad, and it was scary because overnight he was just throwing up, and he was like throwing up on his cheek and all over the bed, and the whole night he was just coughing, and it was scary. You know what I mean? As a parent, you're thinking the worst, and I feel like the whole week I couldn't really like sleep properly because he would wake up in the middle of the night, and he would do this thing that was driving me crazy, where it was like I would ask him something, he wouldn't respond, and he would just be gagging. Like, I was just like, Jacob, you good? And I would just hear him gag, and I'd be like, honey, like, you gotta talk to me, because I was like, I can't, you know what I mean? Then you're scaring me even more. So he was down bad, man. Since Saturday night, Sunday was bad, Monday he was down, Tuesday he was down. And then, I was just taking care of him, and that's why I didn't do my stream the whole week, because, I just want to make sure I was there for him and take care of him. But then Tuesday, I would say like Tuesday afternoon, or Wednesday, let me see, I had my therapy Tuesday, so I'm trying to think. I think Tuesday afternoon, I kind of started feeling a little bit sick myself. I kind of started having body aches. Then I got sick, man. I got down pretty bad too. And then Wednesday, I was just sick, so I couldn't, it was just tough. It's one of those where the word that kept coming up for me was adversity. You know what I mean? Because, you're trying to take care of your things. You're trying to stay as productive as you can. You're working on, you have these goals. And ideally, it's not the way to start the year. You know what I mean? Like, you always want to start the year almost damn near perfect, because you feel like that's going to kickstart your year, but it didn't end up being like that. So it was challenging. For me, I literally got on my knees and I was just praying to God, like, come on, man, like I just want everything to be cool. And there was a lot of times throughout the week where I felt like I had to just trust God's timing. You get what I'm saying? Like I had to trust what God was trying to tell me, and it was crazy because I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday. My bad. My days are all over the place. I got a call from a friend. I haven't spoken to my homie in like over 5 years for sure. For sure over 5 years, maybe even more. And we were just talking, man, and he was just telling me about, we were just catching up about some potential DJ dates in the future, about some spots he wanted me to get at. And it was crazy because as he was telling me the story about him as a father and the challenges he has to go through too, I was just thinking about, like, in my mind, like, damn, God is so amazing what he does. You know what I mean? Like whatever he puts his hands on, it's just miracles. It's beautiful. And I kept thinking that, and then throughout the week it was just challenging, and because you can't really do nothing. I was down for the count, like, then my son's mom picked him up, and I was just trying to hold it down. Shout out to moms, man. She was giving me all these random ass things to to help me out. I don't know if they were prescribed or not, but all I know is that they helped me kind of get into a better spot. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was crazy because, I love recording my pics. I love recording my podcast. I love just doing stuff and streaming and doing all these things. And God was like, hold up, you gonna take a little time and think about just a lot of things. And boy, let me tell you, was I in my thought process, but it was a challenging week. And I also want to give a huge thanks to my friend Ness, man. It's crazy because in those times, like I said earlier, sometimes some words could just lift you up, and as you're going through these situations by yourself, you could be in you're just thinking a lot, right? Like you're in this thought process, and you got to be mentally strong to kind of overcome these battles. And it was crazy because, I got a call randomly from her, and she was just like, "What's up, B?" And I was just telling her how sick I was, and she was just like, "Oh, don't even trip. Like, if you want me to go buy you a book, like, I'll go drop it off." And like, I was just like, "Nah, you're good," And then she was like, "Can we pray?" And I was like, "For sure. Like, let's pray." And we both prayed over FaceTime, and I was just so thankful for her. And if you're listening to this, I want to say thank you, because it's good to have friends, that even you could talk about faith and you could talk about worship, because, sometimes it's like, yeah, you talk with your homies and your friends, and it's just like, yeah, we're going to go out, we're going to do this. And it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes there's this beauty in talking about faith, and, for her to pray for me was a beautiful thing. And I want to thank her for that, for being a good friend, because, like I said, sometimes you need these words to just help you out. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I just kept praying, and I know I keep saying about my faith, but I actually wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit, because I think it's important to speak on it. My homie DJ Also Mighty, I love how he's always posting stuff about trusting God, and without God we ain't nothing. You feel me? And I felt that, that this few days I just felt this realignment with myself, with God, and just trusting what he wants me to do. And every morning I kept listening to certain songs, so I actually want to share those songs, in case you guys are interested. I kept listening to Awesome God by Hillsong, All I Need Is You by Hillsong, Oceans, and So Will by Hillsong. I kept listening to the songs over and over every morning, just worshiping, and it felt nice, in case you guys were interested in my faith playlist. It's a beautiful thing when you just let go and trust God. I feel like, obviously when we go through things, I know for myself, I'm like, God, come on, please, please, please. And when things are going great, you might forget to have that consistency in prayer, or you might just forget to acknowledge how much God does, what God does for you. You feel me? So I think it's crazy that I was thinking about that a lot during these past few days, where it's like, just trust anything that God has in store for you. So yeah, with that being said, we in here. I'm glad that I'm able to record this podcast and keep going at it every week. And yeah, like I said earlier, I feel a lot better, especially after the Niners won. It was a crazy game, man. Niners versus Dallas. I wasn't able to do my picks, but I'm glad that we won that game. It was a great game. It was a playoff game. I know people are always like, they want to be winning by 2 or 3 touchdowns. but that rarely happens in playoffs. Playoffs, it's a battle in the trenches. You guys are going at it, good defenses. So it was a great game, man. Dallas came to play, and Niners did their thing. They adjusted, and we got out there with a dub. And then we're gonna play the Eagles in the NFC Championship. So that's gonna be another great game. I think my prediction for the Super Bowl is gonna be Niners versus the Bengals. I think Bengals are gonna beat the Chiefs. Not just because Mahomes is dealing with an injury, but I feel like Bengals play Chiefs pretty good every time they play, and he does have, I believe he has a high ankle sprain, Mahomes. So I don't know if he's gonna be as mobile to extend plays if the pocket breaks down. So I just feel like Bengals are gonna win that game. I just have a feeling that it's gonna be Niners and Bengals. I think Niners and Eagles are gonna go at it. I think it's gonna be a heavyweight matchup. It's gonna go. I think it's gonna be another feel of like maybe the Niners and Cowboys again. Like, it's gonna come down to the wire. Good defenses who could avoid making the most turnovers, who could protect the ball, and who could establish the running game. And I think that's gonna be the difference in that game. But you already know what it is, man. Bang bang, Niner gang. And this week was a lot, a lot of people talking smack, throughout the week about Cowboys, Niners. So it was fun, man. You gotta love it. It's so hard to get to the NFC Championship. It's so hard to get in playoffs in general. It's like you gotta enjoy those moments. You gotta have fun. You gotta, FaceTime people after. You gotta call people and just have a good time, because to get to playoffs is hard enough. To make it to the NFC Championship is hard, and I know we made it last year against the Rams. So I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be at Philadelphia, so it's on the road. I think Niners are mentally prepared for it. So yeah, that's my prediction. Niners versus the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's gonna be great, just like the old times. Like, I wasn't even born at that time, but you know what I mean. But it's gonna be crazy, man. You know what I mean? NFC Championship. I can't believe we're already here. I remember just a year ago, just watching that game versus the Rams, and now it's like, here we go against the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? And Brock Purdy, man, you gotta listen. I don't care what people say. People could say, "Oh, it's the system, and it's this, and that." It is difficult to win an NFL game in general. You know what I'm saying? But to go and win a playoff game, is you got to give homie credit. And everybody keeps saying, oh, he's he's doing good for being the last pick of the draft. Just in general, even if you're a top pick, it's hard to win a playoff game. You feel me? So what Brock Purdy's doing is crazy, man. Like, to see his poise, to see himself, in the pocket, extend plays, like, that is not easy to do, fam. Like, you know what I mean? And you're telling me, when I used to put up 776 yards in JV football, 7 touchdowns, that was not easy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, like, what Brock Purdy's doing is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this is just, I believe if he pulls it off and he gets to the Super Bowl, he's the first rookie quarterback in history to start in the Super Bowl. Like, that's crazy. You're one game away from creating history. Like, they're gonna be making a documentary about this in a few years, and I'm gonna be there like, so what did you think? And it's gonna say like, like 49er fan, and it's gonna be like, what did you think about Brock Purdy? And I'll be like, he was special. Like, I'm gonna be doing like the documentary and stuff. But yeah, man, Niners is it's crazy, man. You go from Trey Lance to Jimmy Garoppolo to now Brock Purdy. I mean, you can't script that. You feel me? Like, that is crazy. Shout out to the defense for looking great. Obviously you see me, I'm hyped up, man. Like, it's not easy to win games like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching football for a long time, and it's tough to do that. So I think I just feel it. The Niners are gonna go up against the Eagles. They're gonna go at it. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, man, that was kind of what kind of happened to me throughout the week. When you're healthy and you're doing things, you're just you're working out, you're doing this, you're on the go, and then when your body just tells you, hey, shut down a little bit. Even for me, I've been working out it's been, I think, 2 years of never missing a day, Monday through Friday. And this was the first time I had to miss a day. That was tough, man. Like, I was in this mental streak of like, yo, I've never missed a day, Monday through Friday, holidays, no matter what it is. Like, I never missed a day of working out. And now having to miss it was like, damn, bro, like, but I gotta get better. You know what I mean? I gotta be healthy. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not healthy, then it doesn't benefit anybody, but hopefully you guys are doing good, man. Like I said, I know for myself, January did not start the way I envisioned it, but I have this saying I always say in sports and everything: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But I'm glad that I feel better, and the 5 things I always write in my journal, and I think it will help you today, which is, I always say, I pray that today I live with love, peace, joy, faith, and creativity. Those are the 5 things I always write in my journal every day. I want to live with love. I want to live with peace. I want to live with joy. I want to have extreme faith, and I want to live with creativity. I think those 5 things is what keeps me grounded, what keeps my morals, what keeps my values as a man moving forward. As long as I live with love, with people, love your neighbor, it's easy to love the people, your fam. It's easy to love your best friend. It's easy to love your homies. It's not easy to love people that have, been mean to you, done you wrong, or are rude. But that's the faith part, right? And that's the believing in God part. That's the difficult part. But it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm over here like somebody said something to me at Target and I'm like, I love you, bro. It's not easy. Like, we're human. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. I want to live with love. I want to live with peace. Being in peace it's just a beautiful state. Sometimes, I went through to a walk when I was a few days ago, and just seeing the trees, seeing nature, just bringing this peace, seeing God's creation was a beauty for me. Living with joy, just having the joy in everything, the joy in the sip of coffee, the joy of squishing this, the joy of turning on this microphone, the joy of waking up, and faith, having extreme faith in what God has in store for me, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And not being ashamed to talk about your faith. I think sometimes we talk about God, but if there's people that we feel like they don't believe in God, or we don't want to say it, or we don't want to be extra, but it's living through your truths. Like, yeah, I have extreme faith. I believe God. I'm not gonna be here and have a one-on-one discussion with you on why you should have faith. I'm not gonna be like that. But I hope by the way I live my life and the way I express myself, you could even have a little bit of faith, and that rubs off on you. You feel me? So for me, I'm always gonna have faith. You get what I'm saying? Even when I have lost faith, even when it's hard for me to have faith, even when my son's sick, I'm sick, things are not going well, you're having disagreements with people, this and that, and everything comes crashing down, your finance, whatever. That's the part you just like, man, I don't want to have faith. You give up and you're like, God, where you at, God? What's up? Where you at? But that's the time you gotta shift and be like, nah, this is the time I gotta have the most extreme faith. When God like shakes your life, that's the time when things are gonna come for you. And you keep praying, you keep worshiping, and that's the time where you gotta trust God the most. You feel me? And the last is creativity. I love being creative. It doesn't matter what it is, in my music, in streaming and DJing, as a father. Even if being a father is, you gotta be creative. The way I gotta convince Jacob to take medicine, the way there's anything you do that you could be creative. You know what I'm saying? Creative doesn't necessarily mean in just, an art project. People think about like, nah, you could be creative in anything. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a coach, whether you're a teacher, you got to be creative in how you instruct your students. You feel me? As a parent, you got to be creative into how you make your kid do things. You feel me? So those are the 5 things I live with every day. And I try to live my life like that every day. Every time I pray, every time I journal, that's the thing. To live with love, live with peace, live with joy, live with faith and creativity. All right. I think that's good. I think we're going to end it like that. Appreciate you guys hanging out. If you guys listen to the whole episode, thank you for hanging with Beat Drop. And hopefully you guys are doing good, man. Appreciate everybody that checked in. And we'll get another episode next week. Y'all take care. Hang with Beat Drop Podcast, episode 114. Much love. Stay beautiful. Stay great. Appreciate y'all, man. We outies. Happy Tuesday if you're listening on a Tuesday. And be great, man. Peace.